Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Athlete in the 519. I'm Greg Schooley, and I just want to mention we got Spitfire tickets to give away, VIP pass, to VIP parking, Crown Royal room, and Crown Royal seat tickets. So make sure you comment, you like, and you're entered in to win at the end of the show. Or I mean by tomorrow, actually. But anyways, what do we got today? Our guest is Jerry Pateman. Welcome, Jerry. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So Jerry is an X-NHLer player. He's still in the
Not a player.
Or referee. Sorry, still a player.
Yeah.
He's still in the referee, and he's still doing it all. So usually, what I do is when I start off, I just start asking about how you got into it. So obviously, you're from Chatham, and you played minor hockey and. Like, when did you say, you know what, I got to try it out? Were you trying it out to make extra money, like a paper route?
Yeah, no. As a matter of fact, when I started officiating, it was the kids that did house league didn't even get paid. It was just more or less go out there for 3 hours and
just get extra skating?
Yeah, exactly. The reason I got into it was because my dad was a convener, and he was highly involved in minor hockey in Chatham. So it was, if we can't get any referees, well, Jerry,
you're going
in. So that's how I started.
Now, did you eventually get paid?
I never got paid till I started doing travel.
Oh,
and that was
now,
couple of years.
How did you like doing, like you were a player and you played travel as well as a player.
Right.
So how did you like the switch, or when did you make the switch and you go, oh man, I'm not going to play with a team anymore. Well, they're all going to hate me.
Yeah. I didn't mind that. I had thick skin, but the when I realized that I wanted to change to officiating was the fact that I played travel, but then I knew, or I realized I wasn't good enough to be a player. So I wanted to get involved in officiating and see if I could get somewhere officiating. Someone had told me that, that's another road in which to try to get there.
Yeah.
To the show, as they say.
Now, so you went from playing hockey to refereeing. So, and what caught your eye? Like, when did you catch the fever? Like, you're saying, you know what, I can do this.
I think it was a couple of guys from Chatham that were involved in junior hockey. They said that, I have a good potential, I guess, as I said, to do junior hockey. So I said, okay, great. So they would call me up, and I'd go out and do the lines. And then as time went on, I just seemed to really enjoy it, and then avenues opened to better hockey. And so
now, so you're in Chatham. How do you go? So do you go junior C, junior B?
Right. I just did junior hockey, like you said, junior B, junior C in the Chatham area, and then there was a gentleman who was involved in the International Hockey League, Bill Doyle. He was a referee and then became a supervisor of that league. Who someone had mentioned that I was doing okay, I guess, as an official, and that I wanted to work. So he invited me to a training camp in the IHL, and that was back in, I think, '76. And
now, is that the Bruce Hood training camp, or he was there, or that was just something you took on your own?
Just something that I was invited to, and then once I got into that, into the International Hockey League, then the next step was I heard about this Bruce Hood School of Refereeing at the time, and I went there, and lo and behold, when I got back home after that, I got a phone call inviting me to my first NHL camp, which was 1978, I think it was.
Now, so before we get into the NHL, because I'm sure there's a million good stories out of there. So you go to the I. Now, do you do the OHA at all, or no?
Oh no, I still did the OHA. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The IHL was more or less on weekends because I was still in school in Chatham, and I was going to college, I believe, at the time, and then so I was still involved with doing Dresden and Essex and stuff like that. And, all as a linesman.
Now, did you do the Memorial Cup or no? Because I got it up there, but I thought I read it somewhere.
I did the Memorial Cup in 1982 in Portland, Oregon. It was the first time I was ever in the States.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but
do you remember who the two finalists were?
It was actually Portland and Oshawa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And who came out of it? Oshawa.
No, Portland.
Oh yeah, hometown.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I just another reminder. I got VIP parking passes for the Spitfire games. Obviously, you can't go to the games right now, but when it does open up, you can bring these tickets in and just exchange them for probably a game that you want to go see. So you got VIP parking, you got Crown Royal room seats, and tickets to the Crown Royal room, where you'll get thirsty each period. That's how it usually happens.
I might take those tickets and put them in my pocket.
There you go. So anyway, so now you get to the NHL. Now, how hard was it to get there? So they're eyeing you up, right? So you already know you just got to keep doing well, keep following the guidelines, I guess.
Right. So the first year I went, I went and they kind of caught I caught their eye or whatever, and they said that they would continue to watch me throughout the year or whatever. So that was fine. Then in 1979, the WHA and the NHL merged, and so we had a 3-day training camp for just the rookies. So out of that, they hired a few. I think there was like 12 guys because that was the WHA and the NHL.
But that's what I mean. The WHA and the NHL merged. Like, were you allowed to even try for the WHA at all? Would they have frowned on you?
No, because they invited. There was a few guys from the WHA actually that came onto staff, like Wayne Bonney, Ron Asseltine.
Well, no, because I'm curious, because the reason why I asked that is, when the WH came in, they weren't affiliated with the NHL.
Right.
So those referees, they weren't frowned upon at all.
No, they weren't frowned at.
Because I think there's something right now like that Kingsville hockey that people play.
Yes.
Like you get frowned upon if you're a referee there.
Right. Because that's more or less
the outlaw league.
An outlaw league, right? So it's not sanctioned by CAHA, Canadian Amateur Hockey, or something.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure how that works, but I do understand that if you work that hockey, you can't work Essex.
Brian Anthony's he's a Zamboni guy at the Spitfire games. But so anyway, so they invite the WHA guys and the NHL guys. But are you an NHL guy yet, or you just?
No, I'm one of the ones that are trying to get onto staff.
Now, how is it like? Is it fierce, the competition, or you don't know? You just got to go out and do your job.
You just got to go out and do your job. And it's like any other training camp, only we don't have sticks and, that kind of stuff. But it was just skills and, how you skate. And we had everything. Skating tests.
Really?
Off ice tests.
Were you a good skater? Well, you must have been when you made it, but...
I was a good skater.
No, I always I see some hockey players, I go, man,
yeah.
He's got a lot of try in him, but man, he's the worst.
You've got to be a pretty good skater
to
officiate for sure.
Now, you knew you were a good skater right from the beginning, or you just gradually, you got way better and way better?
I think I progressed as time went on.
Yeah.
Then when you hit a peak, you start going down. Like I couldn't skate like that now, but I tried my best.
Now, what are some of the best games you did in the NHL?
Well, of course, my first game was a kind of a shocker because at the time we had run into injuries in the National League, and I was actually I was a referee, minor league referee at the time, under contract, but I was doing the American League and Central League at the time, and they had injuries to a couple of linesmen, and so they called me up and said, okay, we need you to go to New Jersey for tomorrow. And I was like, okay, and you're going to do the lines. I said, okay. So yeah, so it was kind of a boom, boom.
And you couldn't even call your parents going, hey, I'm going to be in the NHL.
I did phone them for sure.
Yeah. It's not like they could have just went, we're going to watch.
That's right.
Like if it was in Toronto or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Detroit. So... that's funny. So, and that was your most exciting game, or after that, is it you just stuck it out? You just stuck around and.
Oh yeah, I mean, every game was a great game, an exciting game to watch. Well, I mean, there's some that are not as exciting as others, but for the most part, I mean, you get so into the game and the crowds and stuff. And I was lucky enough. I shouldn't say lucky enough, but now. It's pretty clean, wide open hockey. Whereas back in the day, when you had a North,
that's where I wanted to go to.
Yeah, so I actually got to do the rematch of the Bob Probert Tie Domi at Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah.
So it was. I mean, I came in from Philadelphia on a train, and I was reading the paper, and here it was, and they had a big.
It's go time.
Yeah, it was like a Probert picture and a Domi picture, and it had their height, their weight. It was like a boxing thing.
Oh man, and that was insane, eh?
I was at Madison Square Garden, so you couldn't beat where it was.
No, but do they go to you and they go, "Hey, look we don't want these guys doing it, but we want them doing it. But you can't break them up if they start. Like, do they say something? Because I know now they must tell them that, hey, you got to break it up right away.
Well, I mean that's always been once they hit the ground or once somebody has an advantage over another player over the other player, we get in there right away. So, but this is the only time where it was in New York, so that's where the head office was.
Oh
so
yeah, everybody's there.
They did come in and say, okay, well, we kind of know what's going to happen, so if it does, just be prepared. We were prepared right off the get-go.
Was it just the crowd was just intense?
Well, yeah, and then as soon as it didn't happen until a little later on in the first period, and then we had I think it was an offside play, and I had the face-off, and then Bob Probert come on, and the place went nuts, and then Ty Domi come on, it went even more nuts. And
do they even acknowledge each other? Like, are you watching them and they're going?
We're watching, but they didn't do really anything, and then. Once the puck was dropped, I think Ty gave him a couple of shots, like, let's go. And Bob didn't do anything at the first. And then all of a sudden, boom, they both dropped it.
Now, I can't remember. Was that the first fight or this? No, that was the second one. Because that was the old Ty Domi doing the belt or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty exciting.
Now, do you ever get into, like, it's just, well, obviously you've been in some brawls where you're just like, holy shit, everybody's going at it. Now, and being a linesman, it's your job to actually get in there and break it up, where the referee is just with his notepad, drawing pictures, doodling.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of communication comes into play, where we're looking to see which fights are actually either being one-sided or they fall into the ice and we can get in there and break them up. But once we break them up, we take them. So we could have 4 other fights, but we're mainly involved in that one fight. And once we get those guys broke up, we take them to the penalty box, and we don't do anything till after. And then we go again, come back
find
to
the next guy,
fight, and then so yeah.
Now, like back, not like it was that long ago. Well, I guess it was that long ago. But when, like the way the hockey players, they play and they drink after and party all night and then play again the next day, hungover or not hungover. I know a lot of them stayed in shape, but a lot of them didn't, right? A lot of them just were natural players and just showed up. Now, for referees, did you guys, like, were you always working out, or was it just something that you cut on to later? Like, you're saying, hey, these guys are getting bigger and bigger.
No, actually, I think back in the day, before my time, I think that, it was more or less, a lot of these guys had part-time jobs on.
Oh, yeah, because the pay scale was so low, right?
I'm sure that, like, if you asked, like, a Matt Pavlich or something, they had part-time jobs or whatever, and in order to supplement their income. Because it wasn't that popular. But now, I mean, I never worked. We didn't have time to work during the year, so it was. And then now, as I was saying, back in the day, so now in '79, you had to be in shape because you went to training camp and you were expected to do skating drills within a certain amount of time.
Oh, wait a minute. They had training camp every year? Like, you weren't getting comp blanche? Like,
oh, no. Every year you were... Well, I mean...
Until you became established, you were fine, but...
Like, every year everyone went to training camp every year.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Now, how many days was training camp? Like 3 days?
Back in the day, it was my first one was 10 days. And then it went to a week. So pretty well a week.
Wow.
It was always at the... Back in the day, it was always at the Toronto Airport Holiday Inn.
Oh, yeah.
We would train at Centennial Park.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they had 2 rinks there, so. Yeah.
Wow. So, and what was one of your favorite games you ever been in? Like, just to, like, you're there. Like, I get it as you get established or whatever, and you get more important games, or you get the, the playoffs. Yeah. Did you ever get a Stanley Cup final?
Never a final, no. And the best game I've ever done was the All-Star game, probably in Chicago back in '92. Yeah, it was during the first. It was a war. I don't know what war was it? The Gulf War.
Oh yeah.
And so Chicago was always known for the national anthem, right? So.
Oh yeah.
And then it was like the war had just started, so 3 days later we had the All-Star game, and so that Wayne Messmer was the singer at the time. He just belted it out, like I get chills just thinking about it now because that place just rocked that day.
Oh,
so that was one of the best.
Now, the All-Star games, like, do you dress in the room with all the guys?
No.
Like,
No.
because it really doesn't matter. You're just there to skate
Yeah.
with them, drop the puck, right?
Yeah.
But so after the game, you're invited to all their
Right. Now we always had was usually the day before, and then a little get together after. But the main thing was the day before the game. So,
Oh yeah. The after was probably a different kind of party
Yeah,
celebration.
exactly. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, we had the pregame was at a museum. It's a world famous museum in Chicago, and it had the big like mammoth, like dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So I mean, I was looking for pictures for you like all over the internet, and then this is the only one I could actually come up. There's one where you were like skating like that. I'm like, it's not a good one. But anyways, well, it's great to hear a guy that's been at the highest level and tell his stories. And obviously you've had a great career. I mean, you're still repping.
Oh yeah, I still like it. So that's half the battle is liking what you do. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I still love doing it.
So thanks for joining in. Thank you very much for coming on. And don't forget, Tim Campbell, we got, if you're looking for a house, give Campbell a call. You know, for everything in real estate, 519-259-9999. And we're giving away 2 free tickets to the Spitfire games with the VIP parking and Crown Royal room. So make sure you like, comment on here, and I'll make sure we pick a winner the other day. Sorry about the interruption. Not sure what happened. I'm going to connect the two after this, and we'll carry on from there. Anyways,
No.
yeah, maybe. Or it's I didn't pay my bill. One or the other. Anyways, thanks for joining in, you guys, and we'll see you next week. I think I have Greg Day coming on next week. So he's played in Europe for years, so he's an interesting dude. Anyways, thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you.